Welcome to Procrastination Podcast. Talk about anime, life, and everything in between. My name's Matt.
I'm Robert.
I'm Alonzo.
And I want to bring some energy, some spice into this episode after the hiatus. I had a lot weirder things I was doing, but I settled on that one just for you guys, a little extra. But anyway, we're back with another episode, real chill episode this time. But before that, how's everybody doing? How's the week been? Week off, refreshed, rejuvenated?
Yeah, man. I miss this, right? This feels like I'm doing something with my, this. Although this thing is called procrastination, right? We're supposed to be procrastinating, but this feels like something we're doing, and I'm glad. I'm glad that like we can put some energy into something to make something, right? Like, because right now, I mean, there's been a couple weeks where we did not do that, and I felt weird. Like, I don't know. I need this. I kind of need this. I don't know. Y'all feel the same? You feel the same, Alonzo?
No, I put minimum effort in everything I do. You know,
I live by the name.
Same old for me. Yeah.
I mean, I've been putting a lot of effort into studying, so I've had plenty of things to do. But I mean, it is definitely nice. It's a nice reprieve from the usual things that we have to do in our lives, and just be able to chill, talk, have fun. It's good. It's good just to get stuff off your chest, be yourself for a little bit. Like we said, don't have to worry about those kind of adult-like facades we have to put on a lot of times in the real world. It's just nice to just breathe some fresh air. So, speaking of that, I feel like in America in general, we have some good things going on. For the most part, we have a lot of things that we probably take for granted. I don't know, but I don't know. Do y'all feel like it's? I feel like we have things in America in general that like other places don't have. Do you feel like that? Like,
I mean, definitely. I think there's a bunch of the American dream that I think is so American centered, right? It's like, okay, I want to have this, and this, and if I don't, oh well, then my life is not normal. It's not good. Like that's kind of
right.
crazy, right? Like imagine if everywhere there was like you have to have a house, like a house is that's part of life. Part of life, you get a house. It's like
I've not got to that part
right?
yet.
I'm just like, that's crazy to me. It's just like, man, like, well, why would we, why would America make that the thing, right? Now that's the dream. Yeah, especially now. Like now it's really a dream. Now it's a fucking, like
That sucks.
fucking unreachable, one of the things up there. It's like, okay, housing market's crazy and all this stuff. It's like, yeah. I mean, I got lucky and I got something now, but it's like if I would have if I would have waited 1 year, no, there's no way. If I especially like in general, I think there's a number of things where I mean cars are even a luxury, right? Like you think everywhere has a car? No, right? Like just basic things that you use every day. You're just like, huh? Well, if you would have thought about that, like, man, like this is a luxury. This is something that America's made a norm, but is still not a norm. Like,
yeah.
Right. You felt the same thing, Alonzo? Like,
Oh yeah. Like my big thing's the internet. Like I just don't understand how people back in the day got by without it. Like I use the internet 100% for my job to get things done. I was able to learn about buying a house, learn about buying a car, get a job, all through the internet. I ain't doing no phone calls. I ain't doing no encyclopedia lookups. I ain't calling the newspaper, reading the newspaper if the newspaper's still around. no. Like I achieved my American dream through the internet. Got a house, a car, and a job. Still ain't found a wife yet. Still ain't got no kids yet. It probably ain't gonna happen for me, but a man can dream.
The internet's still here, so your chance is still there. The internet has been there before you through all of that. It'll get you the last piece of
we got AI women coming up now.
I mean,
there you go.
This is tracks. There's facts. That's a whole nother talk right there, isn't it?
Right.
Because listen, getting kind of sketchy out here with the AI.
Right. You want to talk about the singularity? Oh my God! Imagine this.
Not this week. We don't.
Right.
But I mean, we could switch topics totally.
Well, we're bringing it up another day.
Yeah, true. But I mean, I think in general, yeah, for sure, there's things we for sure have here that are definitely just straight up privileges that we're just like, this is now what we expect. If it was to be gone one day, disastrous. I mean, the internet for sure. I mean, even GPS. I can't function without GPS. Like, I know how to get to very few places within my vicinity. I got about 15, 20-minute radius that I can know how to get places to. If you're outside of that, and even if you're someplace within that, I don't know how to get there. I can't find it. I will be lost, and it will take 2 hours to get there instead of 20 minutes. And I thank God GPS was made to circumvent that issue. Because reading a map, I used to try and read a map as a kid when my parents were on these long trips. And I was like, bro, what are these lines? What is this? And I mean, luckily my parents, like I said, they knew enough about the highways. They'd be able to figure it out. And I'm sure I would have learned enough about the highways to get around about where I need to get. But then like finding specific stores and specific places would have been like a headache, right? You basically have to just go venture out and waste your gas. Which at these prices, not trying to do that, like, and again, it would have been extremely inconvenient. But just inconvenient, really, right? Just inconvenient, not actually impossible, not actually, life-changing, really. But that's what we're talking about here today, is things that would just be really inconvenient. First world problems. So I have a lot of them that I've sourced out here. I'm just going to pick some random ones. And we're going to kind of just go through them. And I want to see you guys' takes on them. And I kind of, the first one, I know it's on here, but I'll read it. Because I'll just read this one, because this is the one that I probably am the most guilty of just like letting bother me way more than it should. But okay. It's like this particular one. This is a specific tweet. This is the tweet. I'll read the tweet first, okay? I'm trying to text while at a red light, but I keep making all the green lights, man. What's happening? Like, it's so quintessential American. A thing that should be normally good when we're trying to do something else is now also bad. So if we missed that same light, we would have still had an issue with, now I'm hitting all these red lights and I finished my text ages ago. And now I'm stuck in all these red lights. Like, and for me, I hate getting caught at red lights, dude. I freaking hate it. Only reason I like the highway is because there are no stoplights. There's no other reason. There's no other reason besides I hate having to stop constantly at lights, especially. And I feel like it happens especially when I am late or about to be late to something. I will get caught by every red light. Everyone. And it is way more annoying than it should be. It is a total first world problem. Makes no difference. It does not matter. It does not matter in the grand scheme of things. But it bothers me way more than it should. And I've been working on it. But it is annoying for sure.
Look, you just speed, You can get through the red lights.
Just run them.
You drive fast enough, All red lights are green lights.
Isn't that physics though? The light shift. I don't know.
Yeah. That's a Doppler shift
Tell that
happening.
to the policeman.
Yeah.
Tell that to the policeman. They pull you over.
Yeah.
It's all physics. All physics, man. I got it. It's in the book. It's in the book.
You know, I definitely agree with that. I think, like, in general, driving, you know, seems like such a chore, right? I'm like, why? But it's the most luxurious thing that you do, you know, like on a daily basis. It's like, oh man, like I'm going 20 miles away, and it only takes me 10 minutes or whatever. Like I'm sitting here complaining, like, oh gosh, why is it taking me so long to drive 20 miles away? It's like, yeah, well, start walking, motherfucker. Start walking. Yeah. like, yeah, see how long it fucking takes you then, or get on a bike. You know, there's a man-powered anything. Like, yeah, it's gonna take you a long ass time. Yeah, I mean, recently started exercising, right, and now I'm doing the bike thing. And I realize how long it takes to ride a bike or walk or anything, right? So it's like, oh man, I'm sitting here pedaling hard. I feel like I'm pedaling hard. All right, I'm not pedaling hard to anybody else's standards. I'm pedaling so hard, and hour goes by, and it's like, you've done 10 miles. I'm like, 10 miles in an hour? Like, imagine driving a car for an hour and going 10 miles. You're going to shoot yourself. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way. Anyway, all right. This is getting on a tangent. Yeah, right? That's what I wanted to say. When Matt was like, you know, I love the interstate because there's no red lights. I'm like, yeah, come on this side of the water. See how much you enjoy.
That's why I don't.
Enjoy the fucking interstate. I'm like, yeah, there's a bunch of red lights. It's all stop traffic, you know.
Drove to your house at like 10 o'clock on purpose to avoid that. Like, I am not sitting in traffic.
Yeah, but I'm like, yeah, I agree, and I get so mad, and I'm just sitting there like, man, like traffic. Well, now that I have like a somewhat self-driving car, flex, you know, but and I can turn on YouTube in my car, and that's the thing that I'm just like, oh well, I mean, I'm living the life of luxury now. I'm like, I got exactly what I do at home. I got in my car, so I can sit here and do nothing while I'm doing nothing. Oh, great. You know? Anyways,
flexed YouTube in his car.
Yeah. You know, I hate driving, and it shouldn't be that way. And then you speed because you're like, oh, I think this makes it more interesting. You know, like, oh, I'm doing something. I'm not just sitting here. And then that's super dangerous. Like, all right, I'd rather not die.
All of 30 seconds faster. Like,
right? Yeah.
Seconds, you know.
Yeah, I did the math one time. They're just like to seriously like get 5 minutes earlier in a traffic that's like 60 miles an hour. You have to drive like 90 miles an hour or something like that. It's like something crazy. And I'm just like, why do people do this to make up no time? Anyways,
Right.
yeah, but driving is definitely one of the things I'm like, why is this a problem? Why? I should be enjoying my luxury. This is what I should be doing. I should be.
Right.
But nope. I'm like, no, I'm an American at heart, and this should be doing everything for me completely. I shouldn't be doing anything. Right? Now that's why the Teslas are out, right? It's like, oh yeah, drive the whole thing for me and run over black people because they can't sense them. I'm just saying. Just saying. All right. It's a real thing, and they're working on it, apparently.
They're working on
Yeah.
it. Working on it.
It's like, isn't this LiDAR? How can you not sense black people? They're real objects. What's happening? There's no color here. Whatever.
Steve Elon Musk is from South Africa. Apartheid. Black people aren't people. You know, it's a whole thing.
This man programmed Teslas to be racist.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. programmed races of
So we
AI.
thought it was a bug at first, but turns out it's actually very useful. Yeah.
Integrated in the program.
Right.
Elon Musk right there like.
Going back to that tweet, there was a problem I had with talking about texting and driving. Like, what kind of privilege is that? Driving a giant metal death trap, and you're worried about the lights where you could potentially kill somebody being distracted. This guy has YouTube playing, being distracted while driving.
Like, only when it's automatic, all right? Only when
only when I'm not in control.
Only when I'm not looking at the car.
Sorry, Mr. Warbucks. Sorry. Mr. Warbucks. I got it like that. Okay.
That sounds even more dangerous.
Oh yeah, that's
right.
The main times when I am not focused on the car, or when I'm even less focused on the car. Okay. I'm the least in control and I'm the least focused at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Recipe for success.
Yeah.
Explain that to your insurance company. You explain that.
Right. Now I have this recorded. Now they really know.
You're done.
No,
You're done.
I think about that and I'm like, yeah, similar to what you're saying, Alonzo, like this, because it's become such a normal thing to have. Everyone, the children, 15-year-olds get cars. It's like, oh, you can get your permit, so you should be driving. It's like, should they? No.
Right.
This guy doesn't know how to tweet right. You think he should be behind a wheel?
No, he doesn't know how to tweet.
I'm just like, I don't know. It's yeah, like you're saying, it's a death trap. You are controlling a machine, a full machine. You should be paying attention. You should be doing it, right? I joke. I'm like, I never am I taking, even with automatic on, I am never taking my eyes off the road. I'm like, why would I? It's like, all right, yep, I died. What did It's like this man died with. If I die, and they say Robert was watching this video, right? It's like you can just be like, he deserved it. Go to my funeral, and that's what you say. Robert deserved it.
Watch it just cycle. YouTube just cycles its videos. It's gonna cycle to something super sketchy and inappropriate by the time they find you. And they're just gonna be like, "Oh, that guy's a scumbag, man." He was watching.
Andrew Tate clips. Andrew Tate compilation. Alpha.
How to Punch Babies, the podcast.
How to build an alpha baby. This is 101. Yeah, look at that. They just fucking swerved off the road.
That's so terrible, man. Fudge, man. That's terrible. Don't die, Robert. Don't die. Not yet. Live a long life. Live a really long. Oh man. Okay. Yeah. I know.
I had one. Okay. I had one that I saw that I was like, this one is so like me, being hungry for not any of the food in your fridge. And I was like, oh my gosh. I feel this so hard so many times. I'm just like, I could cook something, but I don't want to eat any of those things. I've been eating all of those things every day this week. I don't want to do that. All right. Now I want to go somewhere else. I want to, especially when it comes to this kind of goes into spending money for some reason, having the urge to spend money, having money. You oh, well, this is part of money. I set up budgets and stuff like that. And I'm I eventually get to a part where I'm just saving, right? So I should take the other money. If I'm not saving that money, what do you do with that? It's oh, that's spending money. Spend that money, which is not true. That's also saving money. Put that money in the same. Anyways, I feel like that so many times when it comes to any food thing. I get this urge and I'm just oh, well, I have spending money that isn't real spending money. So why not just go and get some food? Oh, I have all these things that are right near me. Another luxury that we, that we don't care about. But like, I have 1,000 fucking food places around me that are within walking distance, even, and it's like, all right, well, if I don't want to eat what's in my fridge, I can just go out there and eat something else. And you wonder why all, Americans are so fucking fat, I'm like, it's because we don't care. We just like, hey, there is food nearby. Why would I not go to the food nearby place?
Yeah.
Lonzo, you feel this too? I seen you shaking your head.
Well, I am a fat motherfucker, as you explained. Yes, I do this all the time. I did it today, actually. I looked at my fridge. I was like, I could cook, or I could order this pizza, and that's what I did. So it's and I don't have the money to be doing it. I use my credit card, so I definitely should be doing it. I'm in deep credit card debt. That's for another day.
Swipes on deck.
All y'all business to the authorities.
First world problem.
The authorities, all y'all business right now. The authorities on y'all now. Y'all are done.
They know my case. I don't care. Fuck them. Mr. CIA man, Mr. FBI, Mr. I'm not gonna say NSA. All of you guys, fuck y'all.
I'm not with him. You can cancel my loans, whatever you want. That's why.
Here's a bad math that I've been doing recently. I'm like, if I spend an hour to cook food, that is like an hour of my work time. I get paid a certain rate. I'm not going to tell you how much I get paid, but let's say if I spend less than that amount of money, that's all profit. Right? I am.
The food's already in your fridge.
I've spent money, but I've made up for it in work hours that I have not made. Right? I have not done. I've not done that work. Someone else has done that work for less. You're not enjoying my math? Okay.
No. As a man who enjoys his cooking is great. Cook, it's fun, it's good. It's a good hobby. It's an impressive hobby for people. It's an impressive hobby for yourself. You can make better food than what's in the restaurant sometimes. No fun. It's fun making a pizza. Making pizza, it's fun. Making pizza from scratch. It's great. It's great. And it tastes good as freak. And also, for one, we got to I feel like we make stuff into work that is not that bad. Like, why is cooking all of a sudden? Why did all of our ancestors enjoy cooking and now no one liked cooking? Why is cooking now a job? Why does no one like to cook anymore? Like, our moms love cooking. Like, all of our ancestors created all these freaking dishes that became literally soul food, and obviously African food for me, but soul food as well. It's the other part of me, because they liked to cook and make things out of nothing. They liked doing that. They had to, but they also liked to. They didn't have to. But they continued it because they liked it. So again, like, it's literally ingrained in our culture. Like, why is it now no one does it? Like beyond gender roles. Like, people are so shocked when I say I cook. To the point, people are like, no, you don't cook. You might meal prep, you don't cook. And I'm like, I have to show people photo evidence of my dishes for them to believe that I actually cook food. And they're like, oh, do you work in a restaurant? Part-time? I'm like, no, I cook food because I'm hungry and I want to eat it. And people act like it is a sign. And again, it goes back to the luxury, because again, at the end of the day, the fact that you're rationalizing it means that you probably know you shouldn't be doing it, but we do it anyway. We rationalize a lot of things, and I do the same thing with a lot of things, just not as much with cooking. So I like to cook. I think it's good, but I think, we rationalize this stuff a whole lot of time. That's what leads to them feeling like first world problem, because we rationalize it, right? Like, oh, this place is, we could be getting this place in 10 minutes instead of 12 minutes. So that's why I'm annoyed, because I could be getting there in 10 minutes and I'm not. But the more rational thing is, what would we do with that 2 minutes? Mm-hmm. Nothing. Probably nothing. And that's the more rational thing. but we still don't even think like that. But we know that if someone was to point that out, we would not argue. Like, yeah, you're right. But we don't think
would
like
you would you risk death for 2 minutes? For
right, objectively, as a question, you wouldn't.
Yeah, no, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Would you? In a normal day, if you actually think about it, would you risk that for an extra 10 minutes? Like, no. Right. But you don't think of it like that. It's always like, oh, no, I mean, I'm not going to die. I'm good at it. Look how good I am at it.
To that tire pop and then... Like, hey, that happened to me on the highway, bro. Oh, my freaking gosh, this is scary. Oof, anyway.
I was thinking about what you said, though. And I definitely agree that, like, especially of the things that we all do, like, you know what I mean? Like, we, especially now, like, we all drive, so we should all know how to drive, like, you know, kind of thing. It's like, we all eat, so we should know how to cook, you know, kind of thing. It's like, why don't we, right? I definitely agree with that. I mean, the same with, like in general, we all are trying to stay alive, so we should all exercise in some degree, right? It's like that kind of thing. It's like it's yeah, it should be a norm, and it isn't. And I would also agree that it definitely doesn't seem that hard, but I think it is also, you know, kind of like playing an instrument, right? Because we were talking about this too at another point where, like, yeah, I can get started on that thing, but until it's at a certain level, I won't feel good about it, right? So I can cook,
right,
and it's going to be bad first dish, obviously. It's going to be bad second dish, like maybe bad for a while, right? In terms of, like, groundbreaking thing. But then when I do hit groundbreaking, then it feels really good. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad I did this, right? And the same is about instruments. How I feel like I can keep playing my instrument, but I won't feel good about it until I hit the next milestone, like the next groundbreaking. Hey, I learned how to do this with my instrument, and I'm really good at it, or whatever. I played this whole song, right? It's like kind of thing. But yeah, I wish it wasn't like that, though.
I don't know, man. I'm all about instant gratification, and I lack impulse control, and I'm lazy. So doing anything like practicing,
the trifecta,
cooking, I just cannot do it.
The American trifecta.
The American trifecta. There you go. Like, triple threat, triple double. I mean, it's
the Russell Westbrook of America.
Like, I get where y'all coming from, but I think it affects more people. You know, like, yes. the laziness and the impulse control and the instant gratification, especially that one. I think people just do not have the patience for taking things on, talking about practice. Practice? Not my love, but practice? No,
not a game.
We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that out here.
You're right. You're right. AI ain't doing it, and a lot of Americans ain't doing it. That's facts. You know, I understand. I mean, I think a lot of it's habits, right? Like, habits in general are hard to break. So once the habit is set, it's like that is hard. Just like people, like, to make an adult change their mind or mindset about anything is extremely difficult. I mean, like, kids are more flexible. They're kind of easier to mold. But like, once someone's an adult and they're kind of set in their ways, it's always harder. And it's like, at the end of the day, that has to come from the person, right? That has to come from the person. Like, so, and again, like, a lot of it is like, we can see that's the craziest thing about it to me, is like, we can see the logic in some stuff. We can see exactly where we're coming from and still be like, but I don't know how to apply that to myself and to make that a change. And that is crazy. But it's not uncommon at all that we can see why we should do something, see why it makes sense to do it, and still not actually change that and apply that to ourselves. But I mean, it's hard. It's hard to break habits. I mean, that's why they're called habits. You know, if they were easy to break, then they would have a different name. So I mean, yeah. But I think, you know, again, it's a one step at a time thing, and that's why you have to pick stuff. You have to do it that you like, so that it feels less like it's like extra work. You know, that's what, like, to me, I encourage people to cook something they already like, so you know what it's supposed to taste like. So maybe you can kind of get into it a little easier, you know, sort of thing. or if you're gonna like get into working out, start with like something that like if you like dancing, then do Zumba or something like that, because that's like easier to get into. Or like a fitness class, there's other people helping to keep you accountable, so they're also sick of it, but then you're sick of it together. So that you have a reason to stick with it. Like that sort of stuff, I think is like more helpful. But I think again, that is, again, people that all individually decide to break habits and then come together and kind of help each other out, which is always supposed to be part of the American dream too, is the coming together aspect of America, melting pot sort of thing, which I think has kind of been sucking in the last couple of years. Well, a lot of years, most years of America. But, but again, first world problem as far as a lot of the stuff that is concerned. But, it ends up becoming a bigger problem than a first world problem because of the longer spanning repercussions of some of the stuff with our mental health and physical health and stuff too. I didn't think we were going to get into, but somehow we did. And look at that, man.
Wow. I mean, I wanted to talk about something else, right? Another thing that came up, but before I get there, right? I want to talk about another story. All right, this is gonna come around probably. We'll see. There's been something on the news, right? Talking about this submarine, the Titanic submarine, and apparently there was like a video of it, and it's like this bunch of millionaires and billionaires got into this submarine and they went down to see Titanic for some reason, and it didn't end well for them apparently. I don't know if they confirmed anything, but I heard they found pieces. Oh, okay. that it imploded or whatever.
Oh crap, that's crazy. I actually did not know this story fully.
And not to make light of it, right? Not to make light of it, but to say, I think that it is crazy that is even a thing, right? Like, oh, yeah, I would love to have, it's like the thought, like, I want to go to see the Titanic up close. Like, that's my need for it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we've heard the story. We know what boats look like. We know what boats underwater look like. But this boat underwater is real deep. So let's go to that boat. I'm like, I don't see the point. And to me, it's like this general amount of luxury that we keep needing, right? We're like, keep adding. Like, oh, how much can I show my money? Well, I'm going to make a spaceship. So, we did that. That was easy. Now they're like, I'll make a submarine. It's like, well, that's actually harder, apparently, because it's like there's way more pressure down than there is in outer space, right? And and it's just like, well, okay, and let's try that. Okay, I don't know. Maybe we're trying to get to this futuristic state that like everything does. This is where I was going to get to, right? We're trying to get to this futuristic state that everything is just like we saw, right? It's like, oh, we can have easy trips underwater, easy trips to space, and that's going to be the new cool thing. That's it. Everyone can do this thing. Although I still don't see, like, unless we're like getting cargo from the moon or something, like, how would that make money? How would that, it's just, it just seems pointless. It's like, we're just
a flex, flex.
But
it's just a flex. That's it.
This is how I feel about, not to like directly parallel it, right? But this is how I feel about washing dishes, right? It's like, these dishes should be cleaning themselves now, right? I'm like, I shouldn't have to do anything anymore. Why do I have to? Why do I have to do anything? I paid so much money for my dishwasher, right? But still, I have to actively do something for them to get washed. Like, I have to put them in the dishwasher. And I don't want to do that.
You want to live in the Jetsons? You want to
I
live in the
would
Jetsons?
love, right? It's like, how much money would it take for me to have a robot person come and clean my fucking house all the time? You know,
Robot
I
just
don't.
choke them out. They just like,
You would think about
Maid.
like, yeah,
could
yeah.
hire me.
You got
Stop
the
being
money.
broke. Stop being broke.
I do not got the money for no maid. I got money for
Oh, you
electric
can
car
afford a maid
flex.
once a month or something, maybe.
Yeah,
She gonna hate you once a month. She gonna hate you. If you don't clean your house for a whole month and leave it for her, she gonna hate your guts. But it'll be done. She might poison your food, but it'll be done.
like it's weird in general to have these interests outside of like normal things, right? Like you have your day to day, and then you come home and you can have this full interest that you want to devote $250,000 to. Really? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't have any hobby that I'm willing to dedicate any money to. Like, it's crazy. I guess to an extent. I mean, we did the anime conventions a couple of times, right? Well, one time, right? And I'm like, that's something that I'm like, maybe I would dedicate a little bit of money to that. But like, and you know, we're planning the Japan trip too, right? Like maybe, I mean, but I wouldn't say that that's a hobby. I'm just like, you know, we're really just trying to enjoy some culture, or whatever. But like, what is a hobby? Do you guys have?
How did we get to this?
It's an American thing, right? Do you guys have a hobby that you would dedicate money to? Oh, you're into photography.
How much?
Now-
How much is a lot of money? Money and a lot of money is two different things.
I mean, photography is hard to not spend a lot of money on.
Yes, it is. But I was given the camera. I was gifted my second lens, and then I did buy my third lens, used AF. Very used. It's a lot cheaper. It's like 80% off. You know, like it was very, very much cheap. It was still a couple $100 to be honest. Like $200 something. Still, it's a lot. But it's a fantastic lens though. But do I do that like frequently? No, I buy like a new lens. Like I bought one new lens ever for myself, and I don't buy any like software because I try and take the pictures. I personally don't like messing with my pictures, so I try and make it as just real, straightforward as it can be. So yeah, I mean, I've spent a little bit of money. I probably spent more money on video games over the years than I have on photography, to be honest. And I mean, but again, it's like
think about that.
Yeah,
Like,
see? But again, how much is $250K to them relative to us? I guess that's what I'm saying. Like you said to spend, you're spending, like you said, we're spending money regardless, you know, generally on stupid things that we don't need. But you know, the levels to what I spend if let's say like 10% of my salary on hobby things, probably not. But like I said, do I spend, you know, more than 10% of my salary on things that are not related to necessities? Yeah, for sure. Realistically, like trips, don't need to go on trips. I definitely want to. Food stuff that is like beyond what I actually need, just like something extra that I want, or even if I'm getting like extra nice, I definitely get nicer ingredients now that I have a little more money. Definitely get nicer, 100%. Did not buy scallops before. Did not buy, you know, some of these things that I'm using now before. So yeah, so it's like you got to spend the money on something. Well, you don't have to, but you generally will spend the money on something. So it's like spend it on something that is gonna not just fill a void, but actually make you somewhat happy and somewhat, like you said, we feel like you're doing something. You feel like you're investing in a part of yourself rather than just throwing random money for this feeling of like, oh, I got something new, you know, sort of thing, which I think a lot of us end up trying to do. But I mean, yeah, I would invest some money into it. The crazy amount, probably not, because like usually it's like, do I need to spend this much money on a hobby? You generally don't need to, in my opinion, for most normal person hobbies. But I don't know.
What about you, Alonso? Spending money on hobbies?
I grew up poor.
Mhm.
Let me start off by saying I grew up without a dishwasher. We washed them dishes by hand.
Facts.
So
Mhm.
I will never understand the need for a dishwasher. I
Facts.
have one now. Only used it once. I didn't like it. So after that,
It don't wash
but
good.
it don't wash good. You're right. And it has its own special stove you gotta buy. You gotta pre-wash the dishes, soak them. It's a whole effort. I don't like
Mine
it.
wash good. Mine
Anyway.
wash great. And I don't have to pre-wash anything, so I don't know what you're talking about. I throw them bitches in there
You're
old as hell.
supposed to
Flex,
pre-wash.
flex, flex. All he's doing is
Nope.
flexing on us,
Nope,
man. Stop
no, you don't.
flexing on us with your good appliances.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't have a hobby, but I have the mindset of don't spend money on anything if it's not necessary. So that's how I grew up, and that's how I'll die. Um, yeah, it's I don't know. If I ever had a hobby, like I probably wouldn't want to overexert my effort into it, do all that. That's just not the type of person I am. Um, I don't know. That's my thinking on it.
When you
For
were
sure.
into baking and stuff, was that costing you a lot? Pretty penny? No, I tried to buy like
No.
flour one time, and I was like, "What the fuck?" It was like this. My grandma was like, "Yeah, you got to get this special bread flour." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And I get there, and it's like fucking $40 or something like that. And I was like,
Heck no, we got
I don't-
Walmart brand.
"Yeah,
Everything.
Great value, ain't it?
It's like,
It's a great value.
I guess
definitely
yeah.
feel that.
You buy the ingredients, it's usually pretty cheap. Normally.
Yeah. I mean, and again, like cooking things is typically way cheaper than buying them. Like by the amount you make in retrospect, like when I cook for a week, I spend what I would spend on one meal at a restaurant. You know, it looks like a lot, like, oh, I just spent $100 on groceries. But if I had or maybe I guess not one meal, but if I had went out, like me and someone else had gone out for like 2 or 3 good meals, that's that's the money, really, so it's like, okay, so it's like, okay, so it ends up saving a lot, which is nice. That's another reason why I cook. Saves money, and I like saving money. Because I'm like Alonzo, I did not have money growing up. I didn't get a lot of stuff growing up. Only reason I even buy some stuff now, like jerseys and stuff like that, is because I never got them when I was a kid. Never got them ever. Didn't matter how many times I wrote letters to Santa, never got them. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna get some of this dish. And even that, I still be like, I'm wait till it's on sale. Like, still don't pay full price for most stuff I want. And a lot of stuff I'm still like push myself off of. But anyway, yeah, I think for sure, I think your sentiment is a shared one. People hate washing dishes. My brother says he will rather clean everything else in the kitchen besides wash dishes. He'd rather do everything else. To the point when I was a kid and he was still in the house, we're 4 years apart. So he was still in the house until I was going to high school. By the end of it, like towards the end, like then I was like 10 and above, he'd be like, go. First, we'd have a ridiculous amount of dishes because family of 5, 4 at least most times, but 5 a lot of times. My sister was around still, even though she's way older than us. And it'd be a ridiculous amount of dishes. My mom would cook for a couple of days. She doesn't cook for like one day. So she cooked for a couple of big amount of dishes every time. So by the end of the week, it's a ridiculous amount of dishes. And so he would be like, look, you wash the dishes. I will clean everything else. He hates washing dishes. And it is not a sentiment that's not shared, but it's shared by a lot of people. People hate washing. I got used to it because of that. And again, I like stuff to be clean a certain way. And it just annoys me. If like, I put it in the dishwasher and pull it out. Sometimes have that nasty film on it, that weird film. And I'm like, what the freak is this dish, bro? It looks like I got butter on my dish like afterward or something. It looks gross. No, nasty. I don't like it. And I don't want it. So I clean it myself so it's done right. but yeah. I mean, again, it's definitely a first world problem. I mean, one of the ones I definitely don't mind doing is for sure.
Why doesn't my automatic dishwashing machine clean my dishes all the way? It's like, how dare I?
Yeah.
Like,
what I mean,
okay.
There's for sure things that I wish one thing I wish worked a lot better, or that annoys me all the time, is having to get my Wi-Fi code. Speaking of things working better, my Wi-Fi in general in general not working as well. Annoyed, but more annoyed because I pay for it. If I didn't pay for my Wi-Fi, I wouldn't care as much. Because I pay a good amount for it. I'm like, this thing seems to work better. But beyond that, I hate having to go find my code when someone asks me. I'm like, look, I would rather give you my laptop and risk you looking at whatever I have pulled up than find this code. I don't feel like looking at this. I hate looking at that ish, man. Terrible.
I definitely agree with that. I feel like anything dealing with the internet now, dealing like managing it and all this stuff, it's just like, bruh, why? Who cares? Oh man, maybe somebody, I set my shit to open network. It's like maybe somebody's gonna join my network that shouldn't be up there. But look, man, I don't want to deal with it. All right, I'd rather just sit down and hit connect. Period. I don't know. It's just too much. Like I remember back in the day, right? So when I was in this is too long ago to make it illegal now, so I'm going to say it now. But back in the day, I used to steal Wi-Fi. That was my thing. Like, because I never had Wi-Fi, and there was at some point my friend gave me Wi-Fi across the street, but he was even across the street. He was too far away. Because back in the day, your Wi-Fi didn't go that far, okay? And he was too far away, so I couldn't connect to his network. So then instead, I was like, when I could just connect to it for a second, I instantly looked up like, well, how do I get other people's networks? Because there's a network nearby that is like has a password on it, and can I? Anyways, I ended up doing this whole long way of figuring it out, and it was great. It was fun to do some kind of like, because you had to do like packet capture stuff. Anyways, it was great. But yeah, it took so much time and effort because like you had to like hard crack the key, right? So you had to like try every single thing. So it took a long time for it to have, like I would sit with a laptop or probably an old desktop at the time with a little adapter and let it run nonstop for like 3 weeks to get one person's password and then connect to it and realize that like he doesn't have internet access. He has Wi-Fi, but doesn't have internet access. So I cracked into his router, but he doesn't have internet. And it took me 3 weeks to figure it out. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean you don't have internet? I'm sitting there going through his router. I'm like, oh, what if I reset his router? What if I change things? I'm like, I will force this man to have internet.
He gonna get a benefit out of the deal that he didn't even know. It's like, oh, I got internet on phone. It's crazy.
Yeah. And so I especially now, that's something that like, especially a guy who's directly hacked Wi-Fi as a thing, like knowing what I would do to get into mine. And I'm just like, look, I'll just check my router often. And if something's up there that shouldn't be up there, hey, I'll kick them off. Or I'll fucking throttle their network or whatever. And that's all I have to do. I don't have to worry about all this different layers of security because you don't know if somebody's going to come and hack your shit. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm living next door to a Russian or something, like, you know what I mean? I'm like the guy next door just wants to be on YouTube. That's okay, until he starts like downloading gigs and gigs of illegal stuff. It's like, so I downloaded season 6 of Black Mirror today. It's like, well, why do that on my network?
Because it's your network.
But anyways,
that's the other thing I hate. I hate changing passwords a lot.
Yeah.
And I get first world problem for sure. But I have to change. And oh my God, working in healthcare, Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ. You have to change your passwords so often. Just to get onto our documenting ish, there is 3 different passwords to get on. 3 different ones. It takes me like 15 minutes to log on, and that ish will log you out if you are absent from that activity for like 3.5 minutes or some ish.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, nope, you're done. You locked out. Don't worry. we got you. We got you covered. Ain't nobody looking at that ish, man. If you don't unlock right, man, I hate that junk. I hate it so much, man. Like, because they'll page you and they'll call you like, oh, we need you to do this real quick. And like, especially on nights, you be sleep, you wake up like, okay, I mean, let me go and do this. It take like, first off, you gotta get the bright ass light in your face when you just woke up. The big ass blue screen is burning your retina, and then you gotta log in 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. You know, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like,
imagine getting your password wrong.
And oh my god, dude! And you get like 3 tries because again it's hyper secure, so you can't. It's super high pressure on that last attempt. It's like the game winning free throw, and you at the line.
I have caps lock on? Damn, I had caps lock on, didn't I? Damn. I know I'm putting it in right.
Bro, I
damn, numlock wasn't on.
I hate it so much, man. I hate it so freaking much. I need to change it so often, and I like to rotate passwords. So then I run out of rotation at a point because I never had to change passwords that often. I've run out all my normal. I got to make new ones. So I'm like, oh god, dude.
I swear,
in my brain.
I swear the text file that they use to fucking store all my passwords has to be like a gig long. Because I'm like, how many times can I make a new password before you're just like, okay, I'll loop back because I'll put in the first password. And I'm like, come on, I think I've hit my limit now. Finally, I can go back to the first password, and it's like, nope, that's an old password. I'm like, damn it! There's no way you know that this password that I used 4 years ago is still a password now. And it's like, yeah, no, we know your ass. We know what you're doing. I'm like, oh my god. How often, Alonzo, do you have to change your passwords? Because
I think it's every 180 days, or actually 90 days.
90 days.
That's mine. It is miserable.
Yeah, and it's you gotta have 16 characters. You gotta have the special characters, numbers, capitals, lowercase, because we're into the security business. So it's
16.
Awful, dude. Awful.
All right, that's way worse.
Bro, one time was I was making a password, right, and the lady was like, it has to be all numbers, and they cannot repeat, and they cannot go from the consecutive number to the next consecutive number. And I was like, that's everything I knew. I was like, there. I don't even know that there's numbers. What are you talking about? There's no other numbers. That's all the numbers. You know what I mean?
This man started integrating.
What? It's like, oh man,
that's terrible, dude. Oh god, passwords. I mean, necessary evil. I get it. Like, I don't want people's health files to be exposed to the world. And people have hacked these junks. I went to a place. I worked at the place for a little bit. And they did like, we got hacked, and the dude held all the information at ransom for like some couple $1 million or something, until he would give it back. And they had to obviously shut down everything, shut down their business for like a month and redo all this ish and get a whole new file, back up everyone's stuff. It's crazy. So yeah, I get it. And that sounds like it's really annoying for the business themselves. But as a person that doesn't own it, I don't care that much. I'm not paying that $1 million for ransom. I'm not paying that ish. I ain't got it. If you ask me for $3 million, I mean, you want 2K or not? Because that's what you can get. Again, but I get it. People's information is important and valuable, and you want to keep it safe. Fine, thank you. I appreciate it. But I'm very thankful for password savers and ish on like Google Chrome and all that ish.
Oh yeah,
thank God.
Love that shit.
Thank God, because I'd be struggling. And my mom still be trying to write down all them junks, and she'd be like, "I gotta go find the paper. I can't find the paper. Do you know what this password is? Do I know the password that you made when I was not even around? No, I don't. Why would I know that? Why would I know? Your parents ever call you asking for a password that they made when you weren't even there? No, just me.
Oh yeah. My granddad does it all the time. this man would be like, all right, what password did I use for this computer? I was like, Brandon, I have never seen that computer in my life. You have just bought that computer. It's like, yeah, you're right. He's like, go give me my notebook. I wrote it down. I know I wrote it down in a notebook. And it's like, I mean, it looks like, some fucking Illuminati scribbling, like just words and numbers everywhere. I'm just like, how is this organized? What do you mean? He's like, that was for the laptop. That one's for the tablet. That one's for the, I was like, okay, Granddad, sure. As
long as you know.
Right? I just hard reset. Every time he asks me, I hard reset his computer back to factory. I'm like, look, I'm gonna put Windows 7 in this bitch and load it up
Lord.
back to the beginning. I'm like, fuck that shit. I'm not guessing your passwords, Granddad.
Oh, that's funny.
You seen one on this list, Alonzo? That another one that you could call out?
Oh god.
I don't know. I know they had the one about the being sleepy after eating too much food. They call it post-eating fatigue. It's white for the itis. The itis, I struggle with that every day at work. When I eat something at lunch and I go back to work, I'm just like, damn, I could really use a nap right now. And sometimes I don't want to say this, but there were some times where I closed my door to my office and I just put my head down, close my eyes, just let my eyes rest a little bit.
Just a little bit.
You just took a long blink. Just a long blink.
Long blink. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I swear, one day at work, I went into this other guy's cube. I was talking to them. I swear, I heard somebody in another cube snoring, like loud snoring, full on, right? And I was like, man, it was in the morning, right? So I just got there, and I was like, this guy is just, whatever. I go do my work, come back, I go back into that other cube, and I swear this man is still snoring. Now it's 3:30 in the afternoon, and I'm like, there's no way this man came in here and slept for 8 hours. 4 o'clock comes, this man's alarm goes off. I can hear his alarm goes off. This man gets up instantly, grabs his briefcase out the door, and I see him walk by, and I was just like, this guy was asleep the whole time. There's no way he was awake at any point.
That's insane.
I'm like, oh man. But yeah, every time at lunch, like you said, and they love to do like lunch and learns at work. Like, hey, this is gonna be great. We're gonna eat and we're gonna say something boring that you do not care about. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna be asleep. I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna scarf this down very quickly, and I'm gonna be knocked the fuck out in the back row of this auditorium because I'm not. Like, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to stay awake after that, especially when they want to do meetings. I'm like, oh my god, do not set up a meeting right after lunch. People love doing that stuff, man.
They love it. They're like, oh, they won't be hungry. They'll be ready to talk, ready to interact. No, I'll be ready to interact at the beginning of the day, and that's all you got. And once you meet me after that, don't talk to anybody after 12. Don't talk to anybody about work related things. We were covering, and we just looking forward to the end of the day. We trying to make it to the end at that point. So don't even start, man. Don't start with that. Like they know this. They know that they've been in these situations before. I'm like, okay, good one. So and I like my job. Sometimes they'll give me something like real heavy. I'm like, why y'all doing real heavy stuff when y'all giving us lunch? And oh yeah, we're gonna give y'all this real nice pizza with a salad with a pound of cheese and bacon on it. And it's like, I'm just like, bro, so you gonna give us food? I know one time they literally gave us a pasta bar. Not even one time, multiple times. Pasta bar. Which is fantastic. Macaroni grill. Really good. But you gonna give us pasta and expect us to stay awake during you talking for the next 3 hours? You want to have meetings for the next 3 hours after you gave us a unlimited pasta lunch, which you know we're going to decimate, and then we're going to respect that meal by sleeping. Because that is how you respect your meals. So you give a carb and meat heavy lunch, which is literally the recipe for sleep, and then proceed to put it in for me, a cold environment is sleep weather. So you put it in a cold environment with people talking about things we very, very loosely care about, if at all. You want us to fall asleep. That's what you wanted. You can't convince me otherwise. There is no other outcome. But again, is it a first world problem because we get to be full, we get to be fed at work? I'm sure there are people that would love to be full in general, to have a full belly, a full meal. I hate people say starving kids in Africa. Don't say that bullcrap, racist nonsense. Say bullcrap. Starving kids everywhere. Thank you. Starving kids in America. Say starving kids in America. Starving kids in Africa. Bullcrap saying that. But yeah,
there's a time my boss brought in Bojangles biscuits.
You're done.
And I was like,
Dave, I'll see you tomorrow.
I'm gonna have to go home. Like, I ain't doing no work. I'm gonna let you know right now. I ain't doing no work.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah. Right? I'm like,
what is the point? What
super greasy?
What do you expect the outcome to be?
Yeah, that's it. Also, like in the morning, they like to bring like donuts all the time. I'm just like, bro, okay. I mean, and they be bringing some big ass weird donut places too. There's like, hey, these ones from Brooklyn. Yay, you want to get Brooklyn donuts? I'm like, okay, these are fucking this big. If I eat one of these donuts, I'm gonna be out cold for the rest of the day, man. I don't know what you want from me.
You're gonna crash by lunchtime,
right? I don't know. It's crazy. Do not envy it. Do not want that at all.
I mean, but again, we again. Okay. I mean, again, first world problem. I appreciate the food, love the food, but again, what do y'all expect us to do when we eat that good at lunch?
Right.
Anyway. Okay. So this one is probably gonna be the last one. But I think this one is surely everyone has had this. Being too cozy in bed, but you gotta pee.
Did that last night. I got in bed at 8:00. I was like, damn. Last time I went to the bathroom was like 5:00. I was like, I'm gonna risk it. I may pee the bed, but I'm too comfy right now. I ain't do my nightlies. I ain't wash my face. I ain't brush my teeth. I ain't take my meds. I was like, I'm comfy as hell right now. I am not getting out of this bed. So I'll tell you that right now. Risk it all.
Cancel the rest of the night. His bed is comfy.
Have you seen this blanket though? No. I think I could talk to my therapist and they would be like, hey, was the blanket worth it?
That's a thread count sheet.
Talk to your fucking urologist. Was the man worth it? I mean, I do that so often, especially cold. If it's cold in the house, if there's a fan, like I have my fan on at night every fucking morning, and I'm like, oh no, I'm not moving. I'm not fucking moving until something starts hurting. Like, I was like, oh, I gotta pee that bad? All right, yeah, I'll get up now. It's like,
that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, that's crazy. I don't know if it's a first world problem, but it's just silly, honestly. Like, yeah, honestly, that joke is terrible. Like, it's really not bad at all, but it's like, it's so terrible. It's like, man, this is like, for me though, I'd be like, there's sometimes when I get up and I lay back down, I cannot fall back asleep for whatever reason. I don't know why it is. My mind won't be racing or nothing. It just, I can't. And I'd be so scared, like, man, but what if this is one of those times? And then I got up and I shouldn't have, and then I could have been asleep. I could have been good. That's my thing. I'm like, I don't want to get up and then not be able to get back to sleep. I don't care. I don't care if I get up a million times. As long as I get back to sleep, I'm fine. But getting up and not being able to get back to sleep, I am upset the rest of the night at myself. I'm like, see, you should have stayed in bed. You should just stay in the bed. You know, you should just put a bottle next to your bed, and you would have been you just pee in that, and then pour it into the toilet in the morning, man, and you'll be all right.
It's like it doesn't matter.
No, don't do that. It's gross.
It doesn't even matter. Like either way, you did the wrong thing, right? It's like if I get up, I'm just like now I'm awake. I feel I fucked up. And then if I stay in the bed, hurting, not sleeping, then I'm just like why did I do that? Now I'm awake. Now I'm just not sleep. It's like either way, I did the wrong thing. Yeah, I agree. I'm like I will do this so much that I will just I'll just lay in bed like for hours. And it's like, no, because it's the principle. The body doesn't tell me when to sleep. I tell the body when to sleep. And I will go to sleep now. And the body's like, man, I'm not sleepy. I don't want to go to sleep. And I'm like, no. You don't get what I'm saying. I'm going to stay still for 6 hours if you don't go to sleep right now. And it's like, I don't know what you want me to do. You better get on your phone or something. I'm like, no, I'm not even getting on the phone. I literally will be like, oh, I look at the clock and it'll be like 3 a.m. And I'm like, nope. I don't know when I'm getting up, but I am not moving until it is time to wake up. Period.
It's just the worst. I mean, sleep deprivation. I feel like that is definitely more of a first world problem in general, because like when you we can all attest this. When you're real tired, ain't nothing keep you from sleep.
Right.
It don't matter what you do. When your body is real tired, you going to sleep whether you like it or not. Like there's been times I'm so tired, it's like I laid down and then it's like, oof, got up basically, and I was like, what? I was asleep. Like I didn't even know what happened. Like sometimes you just so tired it don't matter. Like I've had that happen. Even like I said, maybe at work, man, you'd be like, I've literally had a long blink at work. And I felt like, I must have blinked for a minute, a long little blink. I look at my clock, it's be like 3:30. Like, oh shoot. Like that jump be crazy. Like when your body is tired, you gone, right? But again, people with sleep issues don't be happening in places where, you always tired, or because you always working, you're always trying to survive, you're always trying to get out the gutter, then you tired all the time, so you ain't got no sleep issues. But when you over here living this first world privilege,
right? I mean,
you be having a sleep issue.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean that is definitely true. I don't know how many times I set a 30-minute alarm and it goes off, and I'm like, no, there's no way that's 30 minutes. That has not been 30 minutes. You just lay down and you're just like, blink. 30-minute alarm. Like, oh, really?
Well, I was about to take a long blink right now.
Right. Well, I guess it's about that time, though. It is. Isn't it?
I mean, it is about that time. It's about extra time right now. Let's go.
Extra time. Back at it again. Back at it like crack at it from the hiatus. Oh, boy. Unfortunately, we are in the dog days of summer for sports.
Sure.
Close to 70 days before college football season starts. Close to 80 days before the NFL returns. And over 100 days before we get to NHL, the NBA, college basketball. All those come back, so we are in the doldrums right now. But since the last time we've met, the NHL, the Las Vegas Golden Knights won the 2023 Stanley Cup Championship over the Florida Panthers in 5 games. This is only their 6th year of existence, so they did that shit quick, speed run. In the NBA, the Denver Nuggets beat the Miami Heat in 5 games to win the 2023 NBA Championship. Also in the NBA, Victor Wembanyama from France went number 1 overall as suspected to the San Antonio Spurs. He's suspected to be the generational talent on the level of LeBron James. So we'll see how his career goes, or if it'll just be a big bust. Who knows? That boy John Moran got suspended 25 games for playing with guns. I expected more, but
Yeah.
I don't know. And another player news: Zion Williamson of the New Orleans Pelicans got caught up in some drama with the side chick. So apparently, the side chick won't stand in her lane. Zion got another woman pregnant, and the side piece thought she was the only girl, but there was another woman that he had a whole gender reveal party with. So it's too messy. There's a lot of details. I won't get into it. It's dirty laundry aired out to the public. The lesson is when you get choosy, you better choose the right one. or else because people be crazy, you know what I'm saying? But what I want to talk to you about tonight is the dumbest news I found on the internet. Apparently, there's an Olympic Esports Week currently happening in Singapore. The International Olympic Committee is having Olympic Games for esports. Now, granted, you would think esports, you're thinking Call of Duty, Overwatch, even Super Smash Brothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? No, these fools is doing virtual versions of archery, sailing, cycling. They even have Just Dance as one of the games. Just stupid. The only adequate game I could find was that they were doing Gran Turismo, and even then, there's no point. They get trophies instead of medals. And apparently, the IOC is doing this to remain relevant to young people and embrace technological advances. So it brings me to my question. Do y'all think this is a good idea, period, having Olympic Games for not even good games? But then on top of that, not having the popular titles. And do y'all even watch the Olympics anymore? Because like the only Olympics I vaguely remember was 2008 in Beijing, and Michael Phelps straight dominated. And then they had the great opening ceremony.
It was good.
And then that was a great time. 2008 was, but apparently viewership for the Olympic Games is abysmal. But what do y'all think on the whole matter?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think in general, yeah, like you said, if you're gonna have esports, I mean, just take a page out of current esports. What's happening here? Like, like seems like you're trying to build something else. Now, one thing about it though is that this has to be something that's going to be continuously, like, played, right? So to say that like League is going to be a thing forever, I don't know. Is that going to be the gold standard of MOBA forever? And then to put that into Olympic sport is weird. Same with like Smash, right? It's like to archive that forever in Olympic sports is weird. Now then, to say that you can't make a general shooter that can be practiced everywhere and be, I think that can be done. I think Counter-Strike would be enough for that, right? And like, I don't know. It seems like that's the kind of standard for shooters, but yeah, I think I do not watch the Olympics. I watched a couple of openings. I remember at some point, I think there was one in like London or something like that. They were like building something. It was weird. And then there was something in Canada. I remember that too. But I do not, I mean, I don't get any of the sports, right? So I don't, unless it's like any of the major sports, I don't really see the point. It's like, oh, this guy can jump a thing, or this guy can throw a thing. It's like, like that's, great, good, but do I need to watch this?
Okay. Just one quick question for what is like for the archery and stuff? What is it like? Wii archery? Like what is?
I didn't look too much into it, but apparently it's like shitty mobile type versions of the games.
What?
So.
Okay. Stupid. Yeah. Okay. All right. I knew it had to be something silly, but
I thought it was like a simulator, like an archery sim, or like an Oculus thing.
I don't think it's like that. I think some of them are Oculus based, but I don't think all of them are. I think archery is like one of the shitty mobile games.
That's crazy. That's trash. Don't do that. Don't do it anymore. Don't do it anymore. Just let it go. If you're gonna do esports, yeah, do esports. I can see why they wouldn't want to do shooters for like. I mean, obviously, 'cause like Olympics is a thing for everyone. They maybe don't want to expose kids to shooters, even though they're all already exposed to shooters anyway. But they don't want to say associate themselves with that per se, unless they're gonna find a way to make it very like PC. I don't know how you do that, but paintball shooters, I don't know. But I don't know.
Splatoon.
But right, yeah, Splatoon or something, yeah. But I don't know. So, and like you said, Robert, I think that'd be difficult for like a game that's gonna have staying power. I think like games like Smash is probably more realistic. I mean, speed runs and stuff like Mario, classic games, stuff like that, maybe stuff like that, like stuff that's like it's gonna be around forever, pretty much. Fine. Maybe like a sports game, like Olympic basketball. You just get 2K or whatever basketball game ends up being good for that time. Maybe would be good, and then obviously do like Olympic teams from like each country. Would put teams at a very bad disadvantage, obviously, because the USA would be much better rating wise. But maybe tweak the ratings a little bit. I don't know, something like that to make it a little more balanced. I don't know. But again, I mean, I get what they're trying to do. Their heart's in the right place, but the idea is misguided a little bit. The Olympics in general, I watch the Olympics most times. I watch everything. No, I mean, but I do find myself intrigued. I don't know. I'm kind of the opposite of you, Robert. I'm kind of intrigued by what people can kind of train themselves to be a master of. And it makes me intrigued that people are having this level of dedication to something, and that, even if it's something I don't quite understand, a lot of the stuff is culturally, a big deal where they're from. Like obviously, like swimming in like Australia, obviously is a lot bigger than swimming in America. I mean, swimming is big in America, obviously good swimmers, but like as far as like a thing itself, it's much bigger in places like Australia, and like same sort of thing for like some of these other sports. Like obviously, like track and field in Jamaica is bigger than like probably soccer or basketball or anything like that. So those sorts of things, like I think that's always interesting for me to see is like countries that you don't really hear about as much, kind of getting their recognition, maybe a thing that gets people to be like, oh, maybe I should visit that place, sort of thing, which is nice. And then also just kind of like getting to kind of experience a little bit of other cultures with like some of the stuff they walk out in with like their outfits and like there's stuff to do with the opening ceremonies and stuff. It's pretty cool. So I mean, I like it. Do I watch everything at the Olympics? No. Do I see why the pageantry of it is kind of falling behind? Well, yeah, because people's attention spans in general are falling, So of course, something that lasts like, I mean, Olympics is long, so yeah, I get to see why people don't sit and watch all of it, especially since people are working more too. Then it's like, okay, and the Olympics is all hours of the day, these random hours, then yeah, people aren't going to watch a lot of stuff outside probably track and field, maybe like the basketball or something. As far as Americans, I don't know about other countries. So I like the Olympics. I think it's cool. I do think the athletes don't get paid a lot. I literally looked this up the other day because I was curious about it. Because I was like, oh yeah, surely those guys made a lot of money because we were talking about Johan Blake. Me and my friend talking about Johan Blake, a famous Jamaican sprinter, and I was like, yeah, he probably made a couple million before he retired, right? I was like, yeah. He literally made a couple million. 2 million is what apparently his net worth was, which is good. Which is great. Plenty of money, obviously. But considering like how hard it is and how much training you have to get through he was consistently top 2 or 3, sprinters in the world, for years. And to consider that that's all you really made for that much concerted effort, where a minimum wage basketball player in the NBA can make that in like 2 years is kind of crazy. So that is kind of like sucky part of it too, is that kind of makes me feel like a little bad about it. Is kind of like, dang, like they're kind of doing all this effort, all this training, and it's like it doesn't even necessarily pay off as much as like a lot of these other sports might do. Maybe they get paid a little bit more in their other countries, but I think it's only like, is it? I think it was like 25K for a gold medal is how much a gold medal would get you, or something like that. Yeah, I think 25K is what a gold medal would get you in reward money, prize money. Yeah, I think that's what it was. So that's not a lot, really. Thinking about how hard it is to get a gold medal, and like only one person gets a gold medal. You know, typically unless you're doing like relays and stuff and like team things, then fine. You know, a couple of people do, but like that's crazy to think about how much it was. You know, and think about Michael Phelps that one summer got a bunch of gold medals. He still only made like not even probably not even $500,000 in just prize earnings from the gold medals, which is crazy. You know, you win more than anyone else ever in history, and you still haven't earned $1 million, which is again not sniffing at making 300K in a summer. It's still fantastic, But again, considering you've trained your entire life, probably given up a lot more than a lot of other people had to, it kind of sucks for them. But respect the heck out of all Olympic athletes. I do think they could maybe do a couple of things to up the pageantry, to up how well it is it's shown. Maybe doing like some more streaming platforms to make it a little bit easier for people to watch. I don't know, something like that. But I think it's good, and but I do see that it could get harder and harder to keep it going if things kind of trend the way it is.
If you had to pick one game, like, okay, this game's going in Olympics, archived forever, you have to play this game. What is the game?
A video game?
Yeah.
Probably Smash. That'd be the most entertaining to watch consistently. And people are gonna play it. You can know people are gonna keep playing it. Like some rendition of it's gonna keep getting played. There's just no other game there's games that have tried to be like it and they can't match it. So there's just simply no other game like it. I mean, since we were kids, since Nintendo 64, like who can say they've never majority of people that have ever played a video game have played Smash at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And that in and of itself it's pretty unique. So I think that'd be the one, because I mean it's the most staying power, entertaining to watch. It's never not entertaining, to watch people be good at.
You could say Ultimate. Some people.
Any of them, honestly.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I mean, I think any of them would be. I mean, yeah, the more updated, obviously, is going to be a little more entertaining because a little better specs and all that stuff.
Yeah,
more you can do.
Right.
Yeah, more characters, more you can do.
Right.
But I mean, all of it's pretty entertaining. But yeah.
What would you say, Alonso? Archive.
So there's this old Crash Bandicoot game called Crash Bash. It's like a party style game, party games in it, and it was a bunch of fun. I think that would be entertaining, right?
I like.
True.
I remember talking to you. I remember talking to you about Crash Team Racing and how I thought that one is better than Mario Kart because of, I don't know, it had more stuff. It was fun, and I'm like, yeah, that's funny. That'd be a good one to put up there too, like Mario Kart or something like that, like Mario Party. That'd be kind of funny. But I wonder like how you could do it if there's like, are we starting a bracket kind of thing? And here's the Olympic bracket for these things. But
that would be entertaining. Actually, I think it'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
See an Olympic bracket for like Mario Kart and Smash, like that'd be good. I mean, they already do this. I mean, just do the same format they do for any of the tournament for these things. It'd be pretty good.
This is what we need. We need Midnight Club Dub Edition. Okay. And then that's what they're playing. Like race car game of the ages. People with these pimped out rides. This is what I want. Olympic pimped rides.
You get style points.
Yeah. Are pimped out rides the same as PEDs?
PEDs?
Play performance enhancing drugs.
Oh yeah. No, it's giving them an advantage.
Like some illegal exhaust on that one.
You see the underglow? It was pink underglow. All right.
Some unfair boost with that.
Yeah.
No, disqualified.
DQ.
No. Terrible. But anyway, this was good. This was very off the cuff. Classic convo. Kind of the reason we wanted to start doing this anyways is to record these random conversations anyway. So that was good. It was good. It flowed really well. Thought it was nice. Hope you guys enjoyed it too. And glad we can be back. And hopefully we'll be back next week with something new and fresh and interesting. But again, thanks for procrastinating with us. We out.